seated. It is now my honor to invite the members of the Presidium and the faculty to enter and to take their places. Executive Dean, New York State American Program, Dr. Ralph Snyderman, Chancellor Emeritus, Duke University, Tommy Lipkin-Suhr, Administrative Director and Registrar, New York State American Program. I call upon Professor Ehud Grossman, Dean, Sackler Faculty of Medicine, to greet the graduates.
Dear graduates, families, distinguished faculty members, and guests, today you are celebrating the graduation of medical school, which may be the greatest event in your medical career. You finish the part of training in medical school and you are starting your new career. I am aware of the difficulties you had in the medical school. You faced more difficulties than your peers in medical schools in the United States because you are studied in a foreign country with a different mentality and you were without your families. But despite the difficulties, you were able to acquire the acquired skills, and you had a great experience, and you passed all the exams to be here today. I appreciate your achievements and your success to accomplish these Herculean tasks of intensive studies in these conditions. Despite the difficulties, we must admit that you were fortunate to study in Israel, in our prestigious faculty, and to take advantage of the variety of cultures and the variety of patients you were exposed to in our country. Your life's work. Medicine in general is an ennobling and empowering profession. Practicing medicine is hard, physically, intellectually, and mentally. And you must love it in order to overcome the great demands of the profession. Practicing medicine, unlike other professions, has an additional aspect of being a man. In Yiddish, we call it being a mensch. Try not to be only excellent doctors, something that I am sure you will be, but also be exceptional human beings. Remember that practicing medicine requires dedication, professionalism, humility, and seeing the person as a whole. Don't forget to submit help to everyone, regardless of race, gender. Respect the rich and the poor, young and old. Be empathic and patient, and listen to your patient's plight, and do the maximum to help everyone. It is important that you see medicine not only as a source of income, but as a mission. Second, indeed, You finished medical school and you are receiving your diploma, but don't forget that the cognitive knowledge you acquired during your study in medical school will probably be outdated within 5 to 10 years, and you simply must stay updated with the latest development if you are to serve your patients well. So you must rededicate yourself to the lifetime of self-directed learning. Nourish the intellectual skills to separate the wheat from the chaff and to practice evidence-based medicine. In medicine in general, it seems that the best way is to adopt the Maimonides approach. Choose the middle way to decide what the best course of action in each case is, and do not behave the same in every situation. Be not the first to adopt the new, nor the last to abandon the old. Care for your patients on the basis of convincing data, not on anecdotal evidence offered by others. Try to learn from your mistakes and those of others, and don't be frustrated when you fail to save a life. Third, learn to work deliberately and carefully. Most serious mistakes in medicine arise not from lack of knowledge, but from imprudent haste and lack of attention to detail. As you spend time with patients, talk sparingly, learn to be a good listener. At all costs, avoid arrogant behavior. No personal trait is more unsettling to patients or co-workers. Please do not get too caught up in yourself and the trapping of apparent power such as pagers, personal digital assistant, wireless phones, laptops, stethoscopes, and white coats. Your remarkable scholastic and personal accomplishment will be all the more noteworthy when they are tempered by humility. Finally, establish and nourish your personal life. Work diligently to strike the proper balance between home and hospital. In addition to being good to your patients, be good to your loved ones and yourself. Learn to say no kindly but firmly when your plate is too full. Recognize and accept that you cannot have it all. Time always will be your scarcest resource. In the final analysis, what will be sustain you most effectively throughout your life are your relationship with family and friends, not the number of papers you publish, organizations you chair, awards you receive, intricate procedures you develop or perform, number of patients you treat, or the material possessions you accumulate. I hope that you will have a great success in all your future endeavors, that you bring honor to our medical school, and that you delight in providing skilled, compassionate care to those patients who entrust their well-being to you. Please embrace your new job as a physician with great happiness, justifiable pride, but also with dignity, honesty, modesty, and grace. After all the suggestions I have given to you on how to start your new journey, it is the time to thank in your name to your families that supported you financially, mentally during your art studies. So, please rise, turn backward, and applaud to those who accompanied and supported you throughout this journey. I wish you all great success in your new future, and I hope that you will not forget us. Remain in touch with the faculty. Help the next classes of the program, and be good ambassadors of Israel in the world. Finally, I want to congratulate you and your families on this momentous day and thank you for allowing us to be part of it. And good luck in your new future.
Thank you, Professor Grossman. Professor Arnon Efek, Director of the New York State American Program, will now address the graduates.
Dear students and families, dear colleagues, 4 years ago, I was privileged to be asked by Dean McCory to lead the New York American Program at Sackler. Nothing is more important than to be a part of the education of the next generations of physicians. It's our duty as well as our privilege. Israel shares with the United States the same values of freedom, of human rights, and democracy, the only one in this troublesome area of the world. From all over the diaspora, Jewish people returned to their homeland to create the State of Israel, based on more than 3,000 years of Jewish culture and biblical tradition, yet young and vibrant. Tel Aviv, the city that lives 24/7, the pubs, the beaches, the restaurants, I met you there. You were smart to mix hardworking with pleasure and experiencing our culture. When I met program directors at leading New York University hospitals, I discussed the merits of our program and emphasized the experience gained from living abroad, from taking care of patients from different cultures, and being taught by top physicians in Israel. You became part of us. As you came in peace, go back and tell people about Israel. Fight the demonization of Israel. We are a city, we are a nation of merits. We take care of hundreds of wounded Syrians. As civil war rages there, more than 200,000 Syrians were killed, and nobody cares. Be our ambassadors, as we have right to exist in this biblical land of our fathers, the home of the brave. Toda rabah.
Thank you, Professor Efek. Dr. Stephen Lazar, Executive Dean of the New York State American Program, will say hello to the graduates.
One of the greatest honors I have ever had in my life, and I mean it, was to sign your letters of acceptance to this school. And tonight you put the icing on the cake, and I just want to say, Mazel Tov.
Thank you, Dr. Lazar. Dr. Aaron Allen, Deputy Program Director, New York State American Program, your turn.
Dean Grossman, Professor Efek, Dr. Lazar, honored guests and families, members of the class of 2015. Before I begin my remarks, I want to take this opportunity to give credit where credit is due. To Dr. Tali Kapua, who has been my right hand for the last couple of years, thank you for your dedication to the students and their success. Your work has made the difference in many lives, and every moment has been worthwhile. Thank you. To the office staff, we have dealt together with many ups and downs over the year, and at every turn you have been helpful and professional. You have been nothing short of terrific. Thank you very much. And finally, to Tommy, an amazing addition to the program who literally lives and breathes this school at every hour of the day. Without you and your efforts, none of this would be possible. Thank you very much. One year ago, we came to this auditorium to celebrate the end of another successful year of the Sackler School of Medicine. We celebrated with the traditional commencement, accompanying yet another new group of wonderful people, as we do today, begin their journey towards the holy work of healing and caring for their patients, as they were formally inducted into the fraternity of medicine. Little did we know that just a few weeks later, 3 Israeli high school students would be kidnapped, going home for the weekend, leading the country and indeed the world on a nationwide search and rescue mission. Being here in Israel, as we all were at Sackler during those 18 days, one felt the urgency of and emotion of the 3 families, and it was as if those 3 boys were everyone's brother or cousin. The nation, as well as people across the globe, and especially in the United States, rallied together to a previously unseen level of unity and brotherhood. At times, it felt as if barriers came down between different sectors of Israeli society, and the cry as far as the U.S. of "Bring back our boys" brought people everywhere just a bit closer together. The feeling on the streets of Tel Aviv, in the hospital, and even here at the school, was one of caring, responsibility, brotherhood, and unity. The ultimate tragic end of the story and the ensuing war in Gaza put the country in a further state of stress and upheaval. Again, we at the Sackler School of Medicine were not spared the experience. Students beginning in the 3rd year of studies became accustomed to hearing sirens and going to bomb shelters, often with patients, senior physicians, or anyone else who might have been in the vicinity. Even the sacred USMLE exam was interrupted by air raid sirens. But through it all, a sense of brotherhood, caring, and unity prevailed. Not a single student complained about the situation or circumstances. No one decided to leave Israel. And in fact, when I visited the students at the hospital, there was an overwhelming feeling of pride to be part of the medical team here in Israel at this troubled time. To be privileged to be part of a culture of healing, helping, and responsibility that is so vital and essential to the Sackler experience. Perhaps no story more exemplified unity and communal responsibility last summer here in Israel than the story of Sergeant Staff Sean Carmeli from South Padre, Texas, an unknown lone American young man who joined the IDF and was killed in battle. He, with almost no family here in Israel, should have had a small funeral. But after the story was publicized on social media, over 20,000 people attended from all parts of Israeli society his funeral and to pay their last respects. Most people interviewed at the funeral were quoted as saying, with Sean's contribution, "It was the least I could do. We are all brothers." And again, we here at Sackler were witness to the importance of brotherhood and communal responsibility. However, the challenges for our school this past year were to continue and become more personal. In our own small Sackler community, 2 of our brightest stars, Daniel Snyder and Maxwell Kotz, passed away suddenly in the prime of their life. Both Max and Dan were people with amazing smiles, people who loved to help others, and people who enjoyed to be a good friend. Both would have been outstanding physicians, and we feel their loss acutely tonight. However, after these tragedies, once again, the students of Sackler School of Medicine banded together in a sense of brotherhood and unity and caring. Dan's friends created a memorial ceremony for him because they were determined to make the memory of their classmate live on. Similarly, the administration of Tel Aviv University went above and beyond to the request of the Kotz family to award Max a diploma tonight, since he was only 2 weeks shy of completing graduation requirements, an effort to memorialize his legacy for his family forever. Why did these things happen? Well, because they deserved it, because it was the least we could do. But moreover, if there is anything that is unique to Israel, unique to Sackler and to its students, it's the ideal that no one should be left behind, that we are all in this together. This is the essence of Sackler, and indeed it is the essence of medicine. In the last 4 years, you, as the class of 2015, have learned much science and medicine and even many useless facts. But you have also learned that Sackler values responsibility, caring, and brotherhood, and it shows. Tonight, the members of the class of 2015, you begin your own personal journey into the world of professional medicine. You will undoubtedly remember many things, places, and people here from your time in Tel Aviv. But you must always recall that you have been invested here at Sackler with a firm sense of brotherhood, a sense of family among your classmates, responsibility for patients from all types of backgrounds and nationalities, and a knowledge which is truly Israeli that nothing or no one will deter you from your goal to be the best and brightest physician that your patients deserve from you every single day. When I look out over this class, I see that each of you, in your own way, has grown and developed in ways that you couldn't have imagined only 4 years ago, but which you should be extremely proud of. We in the administration are amazed and proud at your amazing achievements and accomplishments and are certain that this group will represent Sackler proudly on the wards, in the operating rooms, and in the clinics. But I call on you to remember above all else, because you are here in Israel, because you are here at Sackler, you must remember that above the temptations of money, honor, and authority that medicine provides, remember that we have taught you to be different. You must always be determined to become the best caregivers that you can be, not only because it will make you great and sought-after doctors, but because it is the Sackler way, and because it's the least that you can do for the people who you are to serve who so desperately need your help. You must always be determined to be the best team players in the fraternity of medicine, not only because it will make you the resident and attendings that everyone wants to work with, but because it's the Sackler way and it is the right thing to do. And finally, when you find yourself in a professional war zone and the going gets tough, remember you were trained here in Israel at the Sackler School of Medicine, and you know how to persevere, keep going, and rededicate yourself to success and the good of your patients, and to do the right thing. I wish each and every one of you blessing and good fortune. Never stop caring, never stop learning, never stop giving, and never forget where you came from.
Thank you, Dr. Allen. Dr. Cheryl Shoham, Associate Program Director, Preclinical Education and Curriculum, will now address the graduates.
Faculty, honored guests, and graduates, my new colleagues. Yesterday, I returned to Israel from my other job as a hospitalist in Toronto. I work there on a team that includes 12 physicians. Over half of them are international medical graduates, or IMGs. IMGs are physicians like you who trained in medical schools outside of Canada and the United States. A recent commentary in the New England Journal of Medicine discusses how the United States relies on international medical graduates, such as you, to staff both residency positions and especially primary care medicine needs. The comments are based on a recent report from the Institute of Medicine that tells us that IMGs account for 27% of trainees in U.S. residency programs and 24%, almost a quarter, of practicing physicians in the United States. 40% of the IMG applicant pool to the United States residency programs are American citizens, like most of you. Some of the differences between foreign and American medical schools are discussed in the NEGM article. The call is made for more regulation and curriculum and perhaps licensure of all schools pipelining to the states. An expressed goal is improvement of IMGs fit to the graduate medical education programs where they will train, as well as to future populations that they will serve. So I want to congratulate you tonight. You will fit well into the residency programs that you are about to embark on. I congratulate you for having successfully completed the study of medicine at Tel Aviv University. I congratulate you on having successfully learned how to study independently, how to work well with your peers, and how to form a supportive community for one another. I congratulate you for having had the courage to travel so far from home, and by doing so, learn so much about cultural diversity and the importance of communicating with others who are different than yourselves. All of these accomplishments will serve you well in your careers as physician. So, go forth with your hard-earned knowledge, but never forget the equally important competencies that we have emphasized in our curriculum And the American Accreditation Council for Graduate Medical Education also endorses. Be honest, be altruistic, be professional, be ethical. Continue to teach yourself something new every day. Communicate with your patients, work with them. Self-reflect on your strengths and weaknesses, your victories and your errors. And above all, enjoy your work, but first and foremost, take care of yourselves and your families. Good luck to you all, and a hearty Mazal Tov to all of you.
Thank you, Dr. Schoen. It is now my honor to invite the keynote speaker of the evening tonight at our ceremony, Dr. Ralph Schneiderman, who is Chancellor Emeritus, Duke University.
Thank you, faculty, family and friends, most important, the graduates. When I got a call about 6 months ago asking me to give this commencement, I knew it was a great honor. I was very happy to do it, but I also knew it was a challenge. Professor Grossman talked about evidence-based medicine, which I totally believe in. But what about evidence-based commencement addresses? The data indicates, and this is very clear, that within 5 years of your graduation, you will not remember who gave the commencement address or what that person said. Nonetheless, tonight, this commencement is being streamed live throughout the world and will be on YouTube, which is a wonderful thing. So the first comments that I want to make, given the fact that this is being watched by at least some people live in the United States, is that one of those people watching is Dr. Raymond Sackler. We've heard Sackler, 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 Sackler. Sackler is a school of medicine. But Sackler are 3 brothers that grew up in Brooklyn, New York, from a very poor family. Is anybody here from Brooklyn? So am I. Raymond was born in 1920, and not very far. I was born in Israel Zion Hospital, now Maimonides, and if I remember correctly, Raymond may have been born there himself. Now, he and his 3 brothers, Arthur and Mortimer, were the ones who started this school, founded this school. I wish you would give a loud, big hand of applause for Raymond Sackler. And for his dear wife and partner, Beverly, who I am sure is with him watching this. Beverly. So let me go on and just make a few remarks, because virtually all the important comments were already made by others. And as they often say, everything important has been said but has not been said by everybody, so everybody has to ultimately say it. But I will try to keep this reasonably brief and hopefully get a message across which is very serious. And I really do hope I have your attention and I could keep it for about the next 10 minutes or less. You have made a very important choice. You have made a choice to be a physician, and within moments you will have the degree to be a physician from one of the great medical schools in the United States. And I do speak from a position of having overseen for a period of time the Association of American Medical Colleges, and this is a fine medical school, and you have outstanding training, a lot to be proud of. All of you, I expect, would like to be really good doctors and make an important impact in this world. I'd like you to think of something that I call the golden circle. When you try to determine what is the value of an institution or a value of an individual, think of a circle with three concentric rings. The outer ring is the what you do. You will be a physician. But what kind of physician will you be? Will you be a generalist, a specialist? Will you be an academician, a researcher, an entrepreneur? What you do, to some degree, defines the quality of what you ultimately are. But the next circle inside is the how. How do you do it? Do you do it with pride and passion and energy and compassion? Do you do it with excellence? Do you show up? Are you responsible for all those things around you? And a physician, and hopefully you have learned this, is ultimately responsible for everything that goes on with their patient, no matter who else is involved with them. The how is very important. It defines the good from the not quite so good. But what about the inner part of the circle? The inner part of the circle is the why. The why. Why did you choose to become a physician? And I ask you here, this is one of the most important evenings of your life. I've been down the road a ways, and I still actually remember my graduation as such a wonderful part of my life. Why did you become a physician? Not what you necessarily think at this moment, but why did you become a physician? Hopefully, you became a physician because you truly wanted to have the capability to be in service for others, to commit your life as a professional with tremendous capabilities to impact the lives of others for good. That is the why. We talk about affluence, we talk about having a good life, having good working conditions, having people aspire to be who you are. Those are all reasons and valid reasons to be a physician, but the true why, the passion of why you did this, hopefully that is true, that you did this to be in service of humankind. From the very beginning of civilization, the physician has had an honored role in their society. I would say that the physician, being a physician, can be, it isn't necessarily, but it can be, and you can have it be, a heroic profession and position. And let me, at this point, read something to you that appeared in a New England Journal of Medicine many, many years ago, roughly 1990, by an individual that I got to know, H. Wheeler Brunel, from the University of Massachusetts, and he had an op-ed piece called Healing and Heroism. And he talks about the hero myth as it relates to the physician, and he quotes from Joseph Campbell, who wrote about the fact that heroes have appeared in virtually every civilization. Let me read this to you. In a typical hero myth, there is a call to the hero followed by an arduous journey. The hero's path is often beset by difficult trials. There may be dragons to kill, rivers to swim, or mountains to scale. Ultimately, some great goal is attained, usually enabling the hero to benefit others. The number of stories like this are immense. A captive princess is released. Stolen treasures are returned. Fire is brought back for the good of mankind. The hero's journey is also apt to be rigorous and full of danger. Not all heroes survive, but those who do, they return to be a great boon to the people and the society that they represent, and they are honored and rewarded. Through surrendering their own personal desires to a greater goal, heroes find fulfillment. So you are just about graduating medical school. You have the potential to have a heroic career by dedicating your profession, yourself, to the service of others. But despite the fact that this is a long and arduous journey, there are still major seductions in front of you. And you've heard this before from other speakers. The temptations of affluence, the temptations of pride, the dangers of succumbing to these temptations is great. And I hope that you will avoid them. But I want to end my talk by talking about an unexpected temptation and seduction. And to me, it's unexpected to hear me say this, but I feel very passionate, and I hope you will hear from me what I'm saying. I started my career as a research physician, doing work at Duke and at the NIH, and I earned my stock in trade doing research. I went on to be head of medical affairs at a major biotechnology company, Genentech, and then I went back to be chancellor at one of the most research-intensive medical schools in the United States, Duke University. You are at the crux of a change in medicine, and I say this to all the parents and friends and grandparents. These graduates are positioned at this time in amongst the greatest change of medicine in over 100 years. Medicine has always practiced by identifying a disease and treating it. What these graduates will be moving into is the ability, through genomics, through various other kinds of research, science and technology, is not to be satisfied with treating disease, as important as that is, but the first time in the history of humankind to be able to predict an individual's susceptibility to disease, to be able to intervene early on, and to be able to measure progress. Is an individual developing a disease or having greater health? The tools, the science and technology are mind-blowing. I spent the day today at the Tel Aviv University, and what's going on here is just emblematic of what's going on throughout the world. Big science, big data, genomic research. You are the first line of these new physicians coming into this new world. Now, this is the seduction that I want you to avoid. Science and technology, as beautiful as it is, as powerful as it is, as much as it's been a part of my life, is a seduction if it separates you from your patient. The most important role of a physician is not only to deliver the best of science and technology for their patient, but to deliver care and compassion. The most important aspect of patient care is caring for the patient. And if you remember nothing else of what I said, I hope you remember that. And believe me, I speak from the heart and from the head, and that is the truth. So no matter what you choose to do in medicine, if you have any relationship, any contact with patients, patients look upon you as a mentor. And let me end by telling you just a very short personal story. When I was practicing rheumatology at Duke, I had a patient with rheumatoid arthritis, and at that time, we did not have the drugs that we have today, biologics that really have an impact on disease. So what we would do is change the patient's aspirin or give them various other things that had very, very minimal effects. And this one patient, Mrs. B, a 65-year-old woman, would come to see me every three months, enthusiastic, and we would talk and this and that. And she would leave, and I would feel like a charlatan, because I changed her aspirin from 333 to 424, various things that were just marginal in affecting her disease. And it used to bother me that I was, in a sense, fooling her. It took me 10 years. I can't say I'm a quick learner. It took me 10 years to realize that the reason that Mrs. B was coming to see me was not that she expected me to be curing her rheumatoid arthritis. She knew that I couldn't do that. But she enjoyed the caring and the hope and the various aspects in which our lives intertwined, a physician and a patient. Now, the joy of understanding that as a doctor, not only are you fine-tuning the disease, But developing a partnership and a relationship with your patient and deriving joy from that while giving joy and hope to your patient is one of the most important aspects of being a good physician. So let me end by saying, Mazel Tov, you went through the really hard part. I wish I could tell you the rest is going to be easy. The next 3 to whatever, if you're going to be a neurosurgeon, 10 years is not going to be a bed of roses, but you're capable of doing it. Feel comfortable as you come to the United States. I know that you have these concerns. Will you be prepared to be able to go through a rigorous house staff program in the United States? Let me give you a simple answer. Absolutely, absolutely. You're very well trained. You will do very, very well. Go forth, be wonderful doctors, stay close to the Sackler School of Medicine for the rest of your lives. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Dr. Snyderman. I'm going to go back for a moment to something that Dr. Allen was speaking about. While this is a very joyous day for our graduates, we pause now to remember the 2 cherished students, Daniel Snyder and Maxwell Kutz, who passed away this year. I call now Dr. Ari Katz and Dr. Alexander Milgram to please come to the stage. Dr. Katz will light a candle for Dan, and Dr. Milgram will light a candle for Max. And then we will all please stand for a moment of silence in honor of their memories. Dr. Alan Allen, back to the stage. Dr. Allen will announce those students who received the Dean's Award for Academic Excellence. Those students have already been given an award in a special ceremony. I'm sorry? Okay. And he will also acknowledge the students who were deemed outstanding in a clinical clerkship and the outstanding tutors as voted by the graduates themselves.
Okay. So we have a couple of awards. These awards basically represent academic excellence. The first award is the Dean's Award for Academic Excellence. As your name is called, please stand. These students will receive the highest grade point average in the aggregate in each of the 3 first years of studies. For the first year of study, Dr. Evan Stone. For the second year of studies, Dr. Evan Stone and Dr. Alicia Perry. And for the third year of studies, Dr. Eitan Debi. In the Sackler School of Medicine, this class is the first class that we gave outstanding clinical awards for clinical performance on the wards. In every one of the clinical rotations, Dr. Alex Helfand and Mark Klein. In the Fellowship of Internal Medicine, 2 students from this year's graduating class, Alex Iwanchek and Shaka Shimonovich. For the pediatric clerkship, Dr. Lauren Colebo. For surgery, also Dr. Shimonovich, as well as Michael Allen, who will be graduating next year from the University of Research. And finally, in obstetrics and gynecology, Dr. Ariella Noriel and Dr. Hannah Reiser. Now, those of you that are not members of the Sackler School may not know that we run a full-time Israeli medical school with many teaching hospitals that is alongside of the American program. We're called upon the Israeli tutors and attending physicians to teach our students in English, often disrupting their ward time and their clinical activities. And despite that, there are some doctors that have shown outstanding ability to teach as well as take care of their patients. The class has actually nominated and awarded these people in their different specialties awards for outstanding tutors in each of the clinical clerkships. As I call the tutors, I would ask them to come to the stage and receive an award and a certificate for their work. First, we have Dr. Aviv Segev from Shalbata, who is not here with us tonight. Please give Dr. Segev your round of applause. I would next like to award the Internal Medicine Tutor Award to Dr. Limor Azulai Gitter from Beilinson Hospital, Ward C. For the pediatric clerkship, Dr. Nurit Asya Batsir. For the surgery clerkship, Dr. Adam Goldstein. For obstetrics and gynecology, Dr. Eti Pura from the Mayer Hospital.
Thank you again, Dr. Allen. And I call Dr. Shel Shoham back to the podium here. Dr. Shoham, Associate Program Director, New York State American Program, will present the Peer Tutor Awards and explain exactly what they are.
What is a peer tutor? A peer tutor is anyone of a similar status as the person being tutored. The peer tutoring program at Sackler has students in our senior years tutoring their peers in junior years of study. Peer tutoring in our school occurs in small groups, such as in our first-year systems physiology course. It occurs in the USMLE Step 1 prep course that our third-year students run. And it also occurs on a one-to-one basis when peer tutors often individually help students who are experiencing difficulty. Peer tutoring is an official part of the Sackler curriculum, but it also happens every single day, formally and informally, as members of the student community help one another. I'm going to quote from a poster text that two of our graduating new physicians, Tamir Diamond and Shachar Shimonovich, as well as a third-year student, Nate Greenbaum, and myself have authored for a conference of the International Association of Medical Science Educators next month. The poster reviews the peer tutoring program for the USMLE Step 1 prep course. Quote, "A sense of unity among the group allowed for a surprising level of emotional depth. We talked about very real pressures and anxiety. We laughed a lot. Obsessive study habits can be funny and quite ridiculous in the clear light of day. There were also some tears, a testament to the courage of students in my group. They were willing to be open and vulnerable. Their outpouring was not only to find self-help, but was offered in the service of their peers who could then appreciate that they were not alone on the path." I would like to ask our graduating peer tutors, almost physicians, to stand and receive the applause they so deserve. Lauren Holeva, please stand. How about if we hold the applause till they've all stood up together? Lauren, Stuart Barlow, Oren Cohen, Alexandra Evanchik, Sarah Gann, Debbie Goodman, Quinton Kettler, Tova Moss, Ariella Nuriel, Alicia Perry, Hannah Reisner, Jay Idler, Mitch Rovner, Beth Saba, Shachar Shimonovich, Jessica Spellin, Kevin Strauss, almost there, Lucy Uber, Blake Zellickson, Jonah Zisquit, and last but not least, Tamir Diamond. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Schoen. Dr. Gabriel Tarshish, would you please come to the stage? Dr. Tarshish will present the Best Teacher Award for Preclinical Studies to Dr. Tzvia Paz from the Anatomy Department.
Hello. Just get my speech out. Hi, everybody. So, as Barbara said, my name's Gabe Tarshish. And I just want to start off by thanking all of you for being here. Hi, Mom. Love you. I know that Tel Aviv is not next door for most of you. So it really is a testament to the incredible nature of each of my classmates that you're here. So I've been asked to introduce the recipient of the Best Preclinical Teacher Award. But before I do that, I would like to tell you a brief story to give you an idea of what kind of person our winner is. So we have to go way back to 4 years ago, to the very beginning of medical school. And it was one of the first days in reproductive anatomy. The teacher called up a volunteer, and me, not knowing any better, I raised my hand and I was called to the front of the class. So at this time, the teacher told me to stand with my arms up like this while she draped a big plastic sheet over my entire body. So I should have understood sooner that volunteering in a reproductive anatomy class might not have been the best idea. And looking up at my giggling classmates, I realized I'd become a human-sized model of a uterus. As I stood there, having fallopian tubes and ovaries pointed out of my body, I got to thinking, and what I learned that day, aside from anatomy, obviously, was what it means to be a true educator. Now, anyone can read slides off a PowerPoint, but it takes much more to actually engage your students and help them really understand or really gain a genuine understanding of the material. I doubt that I will ever forget where the broad ligament lies or the suspensory ligament hangs. But most importantly, I will never forget the effort and dedication our teacher, Dr. Tzvia Paz, put in to help with our education. Now, if you please, let's give it up for Dr. Sviapas.
Thank you, Dr. Toshish, and congratulations to Dr. Paz. Dr. Jeremy Potash, your turn. On behalf of the graduates, Dr. Potash will present the Best Teacher Award for Clinical Studies to Dr. Yashau Kleter, affectionately known to the students as Yashka.
Thank you, Barbara. Gabe, you stole my teacher's award. What am I going to give them now? Good evening. I will never forget my first day of pediatrics. My Wolfson Hospital group and I were waiting to meet our new teacher when Dr. Kletter emerged holding a plastic lightsaber. He proceeded to go around the room, pointing the lightsaber at each person, calling out their name before anyone could introduce themselves. When asked how he knew our names, he would only reply that he is an agent of the Mossad. He then told us that we should address him as Admor, a title that Hasidim use to refer to their revered spiritual leader of the time. This was not going to be your typical rotation. The term Admor is actually an abbreviation for Adonenu Morenu V'Rabbeinu, translating to our master, our teacher, and our rabbi. Although not exactly our master or rabbi, Dr. Kletter proved to be an inspiring teacher, a guiding mentor, and a friend. The comfortable atmosphere he fostered during the rotation allowed us to pursue the study of pediatric medicine unhampered by the usual stresses that accompany a medical school rotation. We will never forget the weekly games we played, from kickball to battleship, which combined testing our pediatric knowledge with childhood fun. Nor will we forget the quiz de la quiz, where seeing your friend get a sticker for knowing the child's diagnosis motivated you to read the PEDS textbook, Nelson's, even more. But the thing that will stand out the most is that, with Admor, our group knew we had someone we could speak to openly, ask advice to without judgment, and discuss matters far removed from medicine. He truly was someone who was there for us and someone who will remain there for us. After 35 years of teaching Israeli and American medical students, Dr. Kletter has become somewhat of a legend in Israel, and this has spread overseas. It is not uncommon to hear one of his trademark expressions, or Admor wisdoms, echo through an American hospital. For instance, when trying to uncover a diagnosis, he would tell us to think logic. To inspire more empathy, he would remind us that at the end of the needle is a patient. To emphasize the importance of history-taking skills, he would say, listen to the patient's story. He will tell you his diagnosis. When he wanted to put a student on the hot seat, that student was alone in Wyoming with Jenny the nurse. Or he would simply encourage us with a very nice Shlomo, very nice Stuart, very nice Aaron, very nice class 2015. And finally, on a personal note, Dr. Kletter has done a lot to help me gain confidence in my abilities in the medical world, and for that I'll always be grateful. Now, I would like to call up the best clinical teacher at Sackler, a teacher you could not even find at Harvard, the Mecca of medicine, Dr. Kletter, the Ardmore, to accept this award.
Well done, well done. Congratulations, Dr. Kletter. You're a legend here. Dr. Stephen Lazar, Executive Dean of the New York State American Program, will now present the Michael Trichter Grauer Memorial Award.
Dr. Michael Trichter Grauer was a 1996 Sackler graduate, and this award by his family is to honor his memory. It is given to a graduate in recognition of exceptional compassion, excellence in patient care and public service while in the New York State American Program. This year, the worthy recipient of the Michael Trichter Grauer MD Memorial Award is Dr. Ariella Nuriel.
Thank you. This means so much to me, and I am truly touched. While I am honored to receive this award, I know that many of us feel that someone else who cared deeply and selflessly for others is also worthy of it. Daniel Snyder spent countless hours bettering the lives of patients and fellow students alike. Therefore, on behalf of the class, I will donate this award in Dan's memory to the National Alliance of Mental Illness with the intent that something positive may come from our great loss. We love you, Dan. We miss you, and we are thinking of you today. Thank you so much.
We have now reached that special moment when the graduates of the 35th class will take the solemn physician's pledge. This pledge was formulated by the late Professor L. Halpern on the occasion of the first graduation ceremony of the medical students at Hebrew University in Jerusalem in 1952. Will the candidates for MD degree please rise and take the pledge? I will read the pledge, and at the end, you will recite after Professor Afek the words, "Amen, so we will do." That will be at the end. You have it on the screen. You can read it as I read the pledge. You are charged day and night to be guardians at the side of the sick at all times of their need, even from their mother's womb, and let their welfare always be your chief concern. You shall help the sick because they are sick, whether stranger or alien or citizen, whether contemptible or honorable. And you shall seek to understand the soul of the sick, to restore their spirit through understanding and compassion. Do not rush to bring forth judgment, and weigh your advice wisely based on experience. Be true to them who put their trust in you. Reveal not their secret, and go not about as a talebearer. And make your heart wise to the well-being of the many, to bring healing for the ailments of the people. Give honor and esteem to your teachers who have led you in the paths of medicine. Increase wisdom and weaken not, for wisdom is your life. Honor your colleagues, as in honoring them, you will yourselves be honored. Oh, one moment. The words of this agreement are most high unto you. They are in your mouths and hearts, that you may do them, and so you will answer, Amen. May your efforts to enhance the heritage of medicine grow and multiply. Thank you. You may be seated. And now for the diplomas. Professor Ehud Grossman, Dean of the Sackler Faculty of Medicine, will now hand the medical diplomas to the graduates. And Tommy Lipkin-Sur, Administrative Director and Registrar of the New York program, will assist with the diplomas. Professor Arnona Feck, Program Director, and Dr. Stephen Lazar, Executive Dean of the New York program, please step forward for conferring of the doctoral hoods. For hoodings done by physicians who are mentors or relatives of our graduates, these MD hooders, please, you are invited to ascend the left side of the stage as the name of your graduate is announced. Row 1, please rise. And please go to the right aisle here and come to the stage as I call your names. For the hooders, we have 3 rows, so if your graduate is not coming until the second or third row, you don't really have to assemble at the left side unless you really want to. Dr. Alexander Abdurrahmanov. Dr. Larissa Abdurrahmanova, Alexander's mother, will do the hooding. Dr. Aaron Abrams, Dr. Yashka Klater, Aaron's mentor, will do the hooding. Dr. David Apple. Dr. Stuart Barlow. Dr. Jacqueline Beerworth. Professor Chaim Birkenstadt, Jacqueline's mentor, will do the hooding. Dr. Lauren Jessica Chuliva. Dr. Nurit Asiya, Lauren's mentor, will do the hooding. Dr. Oren Cohen. Dr. Randall Conatiano. Dr. Robert Conatiano, Randall's brother, will do the hooding. Let's see. Dr. Eitan Debbie. Dr. Eileen Steinberg Debbie, Eitan's mother, and Dr. Shaul Debbie, Eitan's father, will do the hooding. Congratulations. Congratulations. Dr. Tamir Diamond. Dr. Gary Warren Diamond, Tamir's father, and graduate of the New York State American Program, Sackler School of Medicine, 1982, will do the hooding. Oh, my heart. My heart. Dr. Alexandra Sarah Venchik. Dr. Roby Rosenmarco, Alexandra's mentor, will do the hooding. I'm going to cry. Dr. Lishai Feldman. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you. Dr. Bruce Fox. Dr. Sarah Adrian Gann. Congratulations. Dr. Miriam Langer, Sarah's mentor and graduate of the New York State American Program, Sackler School of Medicine, class of 2014, will do the hooding. Dr. Debbie Judith Goodman. Dr. Richard E. Goodman, Debbie's father. Congratulations, sweetheart, congratulations. And Dr. Richard E. Goodman, Debbie's father, and graduate of the New York State American Program, Sackler School of Medicine, class of 1984, will do the hooding. row 2, will you please rise and go to the right side of the auditorium? And come to the stage, please, as I call your name. Dr. Benjamin Hurwitz. Dr. Lawrence Hurwitz, Benjamin's father, and Dr. Kathleen Hurwitz, Benjamin's mother, will do the hooding. Congratulations. Dr. Levy? Dr. Jay Idler. Dr. Yaniv Levy, Jay's mentor, will do the hooding. Oh. Dr. Quentin Cattler. Dr. D. Geva, Quentin's mentor and graduate of the New York State American Program, Sackler School of Medicine, class of 2005, will do the hooding. Dr. Ari Katz. You're very special. Dr. Bennett Kramer. Dr. Robert Kramer, Bennett's father, will do the hooding. Congratulations. Dr. Amanda Miriam Madahi. Dr. Jamshid Madahi, Amanda's father, will do the hooding. Oh, sweetheart. Dr. Alexander Milgram. Dr. Martin Milgram, Alexander's father, will do the hooding. Dr. Tova Zahava Moss. Dr. Robert A. Moss, Tova's father, will do the hooding. Dr. Ariella Galit Nuriel. Dr. Adi Gava, Ariela's mentor, will do the hooding.
It's okay. Thank you.
Dr. Alicia Renee Perry Aisinena. Dr. Henry D. Perry, Alicia's father, will do the hooding. Okay. Dr. Jeremy Potash. Dr. Yashka Kletzer, Jeremy's mentor, will do the hooding. Congratulations. You're the best. Dr. Hannah Rachel Reisner. Dr. Mark Reisner, Hannah's father, will do the hooding. Dr. Aaron Richler. Dr. Brandon Ian Roth. Dr. Robert Howard Roth, Brandon's father, will do the hooding. Brandon! Dr. Mitchell Kai Rovner. Professor Chaim Birkenstadt, Mitchell's mentor, will do the hooding. Congratulations. Will row 3 please rise and go to the right aisle of the auditorium? Dr. Betsabe Stella Saba, Dr. Patrick Saba, Betsabe's father, and Dr. Jean-Paul Sanenis, Betsabe's grandfather will do the hooding. Okay? I didn't see. Dr. Laurie Schonbrunn. Dr. Mark Schonbrunn, Larry's father, will do the hooding. Congratulations. Dr. Saman Setarashanas. Dr. Matthew Medwick, Saman's mentor, will do the hooding. Oh, congratulations. Dr. Jason Joseph Shimai. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Dr. Shachar Shimonovich. Dr. Matthew Medwick, Shachar's mentor, will do the hooding. Yeah. Dr. Ruslan Schneider. Dr. Yashka Kletter, Ruslan's mentor, will do the hooding. Dr. Jessica Spellin. Dr. Joel Spellin, Jessica's father, will do the hooding. Dr. Evan Stone. Dr. David Heller, Evan's uncle, will do the hooding. Evan. Dr. Kevin Strauss. Hi, Kevin. Dr. Gabriel Tashish. Dr. Miriam Langer, Gabriel's mentor, will do the hooding.
Thank you.
Amen. Dr. Shlomo Tendler. Dr. Yaakov Tendler, Shlomo's father, will do the hoodie.
Thank you, Barbara.
Dr. Lucille Jane Uber. Dr. Dov Zluf, Lucille's mentor, will do the hoodie. Dr. Blake Reed Zellickson. Dr. Maya Sinai, Blake's mentor and graduate of the New York State American Program, class of 2008, will do the hoodie. Dr. Jonah Gabriel Ziskwit. Professor Chaim Birkenstadt, Jonah's mentor, will do the hoodie.
Thank you so much.
Graduates, you may now all move your tassels from the right to the left. The representative of the class of 2015, graduating class, New York State American Program, Dr. Mitchell Rovner, will now deliver his message.
Okay. Parents, family and friends, deans, faculty, staff, and colleagues, good evening. My name is Mitchell Rovner, Dr. Mitchell Rovner. And I was elected by my classmates to give this address. This is a singular honor for me. And since I introduced myself to most of you by giving a speech during orientation so long ago, with a black eye I received attempting to defend a classmate from a 5-foot, 100-pound Israeli girl who was clearly way tougher than me, it just seems right to have another speech in which to say goodbye to you now. For this, I thank you, my friends. Congratulations to the class of 2015. It's hard for me to believe this adventure has come to an end. I hate endings. Even though endings always beget new beginnings, I still hate them. You can never get these moments back. I was always cognizant that what we were doing here was so much more than just a way station on the road to our futures. Without a doubt, my 4 years here in Israel, at Sackler, with the members of the class of 2015, have been the greatest years of my life. And I've had a lot of them, so that's saying something. For this, I thank you, my friends. When we arrived here 4 years ago, I had no idea what to expect. I had been to Israel many times before, but never for anything but a vacation. Now I was here to change my life and to grow and to learn alongside people I had never met, but people I also knew that I would never forget. We landed in Israel and were bused to the hostel where we made our introductions. We shared sweaty handshakes and hugs from nervousness, from the fact it was about 200 degrees, and because I, of course, was wearing a long-sleeve shirt and a leather jacket. But what I remember most from that time were the smiles. They were pervasive. It is a unique experience to see someone's face for the first time and know before you even speak to them that you'll be enmeshed in each other's lives for years to come. I looked at them and thought to myself, I may go into practice with him. She could be my wife. He might be my lifelong best friend. And we were scared too. Scared to live in a new country, to begin the rigorous study of medicine, to grow into adulthood. But the optimism was unbridled, and our class came together immediately. Almost from the start, we all went out together, a pack of 60, waiting in line for clubs at the mall or to celebrate a birthday at the local bar. And to make sure we would all get in, we would just say the magic words. Yeah, we're here on birthright. The fact that I was older didn't matter to anyone. The fact that we were from different countries didn't matter to anyone. The fact that some of us were religious or weren't even Jewish didn't matter to anyone. We were the class of 2015, and that is what mattered. Orientation gave us the chance to bond with each other and with Israel, to find our closest friends, get our apartments, and settle in. And then as quickly as it started, it ended, and the whirlwind of medical school began. And it was hard. We had all graduated college and done pretty well, so we all had experience with cramming. But at least for me, I didn't realize that medical school meant you were basically cramming all the time. The volume of information to take in and the pace at which we had to do it was astounding. They always say medical school is like drinking from a fire hose, and that's really true. We were introduced to CBLs and PBLs, case-based group learning, which I think was really just a way to embarrass me into studying harder once I saw how much more some of my classmates knew than I did. And so I studied even harder. We all did. We all did because we started to realize what we were really doing here, how important this was, how important medicine was. It is a sacred trust. We had to get it right. We got to the point where we felt we knew everything. We could recite the page number in first aid where the information was. Anytime we got something wrong on a test or a quiz, we'd dispute the answer. Because if you looked hard enough, you could find a journal article from Japan written 30 years ago in Japanese that would support your answer. But through it all, we stayed a class. Whether for Movember, the Super Bowl, or the 516 annual Jewish or Israeli holidays, someone always had a party to give us a release. Despite how hard we were working, medical school was fun. And for this, I thank you, my friends. And on top of that, we had Israel. We had Tel Aviv's sunny beaches, the hills and history of Jerusalem, the reefs of Eilat, the beauty of the Negev, all within a few hours. Israel is what makes the Sackler experience so unique. But as any Israeli will tell you, that is a double-edged sword. In November of 2012, missile sirens went off in Tel Aviv for the first time since 1991. Our studies and sleep were interrupted by mad dashes into bomb shelters or stairwells. The sky was filled with jets and contrails, missiles and explosions. Thanks to the courage of the IDF and the brilliance of the engineers at Raphael, we were all okay. But not all Israelis were so lucky. It was a stark reminder of the reality of life in this part of the world, this place we now knew as home. And for a bunch of young people who were dedicating themselves to a future of preserving life, it was a reaffirmation of our ideals. The war ended and normalcy returned just in time for each of us to put in the big 6-month push before the Step 1 licensing exam. We stocked up on pita and hummus, water and toilet paper, and settled into our apartments or on the 9th floor of Sackler for the long haul. We knew we had to do only one thing, and in some ways, life was very simple. When we emerged 6 months later, eyes squinting in the sun, thinner from living off our fat stores, tired of burning ketones, we were different people. We knew medicine. We took the step one and we passed, proving to our parents and teachers and friends, but mostly to ourselves, that we had what it takes. We could do this. We would do this. We were so happy to get that behind us. Until third year started, and then were we missing those simpler days. Third year was kind of like adding a full-time job to medical school. You're at the hospital from at least 8 to 4, maybe more, plus an hour commute each way. And then you have not one, but 2 step exams to prepare for, along with all the regular exams of medical school. And you only really see the few people in your hospital group. I miss seeing everyone's faces. I miss the big gatherings. The clinical years were so different from the preclinical years, it was really sad for me. I think I just missed my class. But something magical happened at that same time. We started to feel like doctors. We were interacting with patients, wearing our white coats, wearing our stethoscopes, even though we couldn't really hear anything with them. We began to treat each other as physicians. And because of that, the idea of us as physicians became real. We gained the confidence we needed. We had grown up, even me. And for this, I thank you, my friends. 2 steps later, we were in the US, testing out our skills in our 4th year electives. We had worried for so long that we might not be ready, that we weren't prepared. But other than the shock of seeing medical charts written in English, we were prepared. Preparation that was the end result of all our hard work, the efforts of the amazing doctors and professors on our faculty, and the countless hours being challenged by the terrific talents of the members of this class. We were ready to be scientists, ready to be healers, ready to be doctors. For this, I thank you, my friends. And that brings us to today, graduation day, the fulfillment of a promise we made to ourselves and our friends and our families that we would succeed. The fulfillment of a promise we made to every teacher, professor, faculty, staff, and administrator that we had at Sackler, that we would learn what they had to teach us, that we would accept their help, and that we would turn it into this, the culmination of a life's dream. I would like to take this opportunity to thank my mother, because without her help, I would never have been able to change my life and live this dream. Mom, thank you, and I love you. I would like to thank the faculty and administration for their tireless efforts these past 4 years to make this the best educational experience they could. I know our class was difficult and demanding at times, but please know it's because we cared so much about Sackler. I would like to thank my best friends here at Sackler. You know who you are. Thank you for sharing this journey with me. I will never refer to you as medical school friends, just my best friends. In fact, my brothers. I would like to thank my fellow class officers, and especially my Vice President Shachar, for the invaluable service you provided to the class and to me. I would like to thank my friends in Team Awesome for teaching me how to be a medical student in more than name only. And lastly, I would like to thank my girlfriend Lishai for supporting me, for putting up with me, and for loving me. Lishai, I love you. You're the best thing that happened to me in Israel, and that includes getting my MD. In fact, none of us could have done this without the support of our loved ones. I know we did this already once today, but I'd like the class to stand up, turn around, and give them a big round of applause. They have certainly earned it. So now, we've reached the end of the greatest journey we have ever taken. We will spread far and wide, from New York to Los Angeles and many places in between, leaving this experience behind us, but it will never truly leave us. Sackler will never truly leave us, and not just because they made sure we'll be paying off loans for the rest of our lives, but because we are in each other's heads and each other's hearts. It will never truly leave us because we will remember the cats in our hospitals, our first Chalk Olympics, our first day on the beach. It will never truly leave us because we will remember sunrise to sunset, destroying the classes above and below us in football, walking through the streets together on Yom Kippur. It will never truly leave us because we will remember each other's faces on the first day of anatomy lab, attending 50 million mandatory meetings together, or holding each other's hands while awaiting the terrifying emails of our step results or of the match. It will never truly leave us because we will remember our trips to Europe, our travels throughout Israel, and of course, our times out in Tel Aviv. It will never truly leave us because we will remember the first time we took blood, the first time we put on scrubs, or the first time a real patient asked for our help. All of that happened here at Sackler. But mostly, it will never truly leave us because we became a family. From the bottom of my heart, I love each and every one of you, and I am proud to be counted among you. And for this, thank you, thank you, thank you, my friends.
Thank you, Dr. Rovner. Mitch. Well, the musical ensemble, you're here, good. Dr. Lucille Uber, graduate, will lead the singing of the American National Anthem and the singing of the Israeli National Anthem. Will the audience please rise for the singing of the anthems? We will begin with the American National Anthem. And now the Israeli National Anthem, which is here on the screen.
I אדם חופשי בארצנו את ציון ירושלים.
You may be seated, because actually this marks the end of the graduation ceremony, the 35th ceremony, class of 2015. And you are all now invited to the Palm Tree Garden for a lovely graduation dinner party. On behalf of the New York State American Program, to the graduates, with all our hearts and all our love, we wish you every success and a hearty congratulations. You may now throw your caps in the air. Will the audience just please stay seated for a moment until the members of the Presidium leave the stage. Thank you. Have a pleasant evening. Thank you.